Greetings, health warriors. Welcome to another edition of Cannabis Oil Secrets live stream brought to you by MOVIDA and MyFitLife. So I'm Al Morenton. I'm your host for the evening. If we're meeting for the first time, then my deal is I went blind from glaucoma, got my vision back with cannabis oils, and today we help people all over the United States overcome and manage a number of conditions from cancer on down. We specialize in cancer and chronic pain. You should have Kristen coming on soon, and in the wings with the questions we have Megan Hall. She's our producer and just extraordinary person over here at MOVIDA. She helps out with getting the word out about us. She's actually a producer for television shows such as JADAM's Garage and Ice Road Truckers and Deadliest Catch. And she does a lot of wonderful things for us over here to expose us to the world and get the word out about RSO and FECO. So let's see. We had one question. It's sort of related to RSO, but it's actually like a supplement that we recommend that goes along with the RSO. So let's step back real quick. RSO stands for Rick Simpson Oil. And it's also known as FECO or full extract cannabis oil. And it's a specific type of cannabis oil that helps people to overcome and manage a number of conditions, mainly because it just feeds your endocannabinoid system, which balances out all the other systems in your body. So that being said, like most people are just have a cannabinoid deficiency as opposed to having actual like dis-ease. They have symptoms of dis-ease because they have a cannabinoid deficiency, if that makes sense. Alrighty. But we have the two supplements that go along with the RSO. And one of them is called Shilajit. It's a mineral. It's a multi-mineral. It has all 84 minerals, trace elements, and it's they're plant-based and super, super awesome and essential for optimal health and for mitochondrial health, which is awesome for people with cancer. And then another one, the other supplement that goes along with that is MSM, also known as methylsulfonyl-methane. All right, so MSM and Shilajit and the cannabinoids all together make up what we call the trifecta of health, because they're all essential nutrients that help you to operate optimally, right? So we had a client like asking about MSM and about like a couple of things. One of them was how to deal with the bitter taste of it, and the other one was what are the benefits of it. Okay, so just real quick with the bitter taste. Our MSM is widely known. It's widely available, but the good stuff is very, very hard to find these days because the biggest MSM manufacturer in the world, which is in Washington State, they stopped. They were bought out by a nutraceutical company, right? And they're an evil company. My friend worked for them for like 10 years. They're called Balchem, and they bought out Bergstrom. And Bergstrom was the maker of Opti MSM, which is 99% of the MSM on the shelves of the, like in Whole Foods or your nutrition store. The MSM will say Opti MSM, and that's Bergstrom MSM. And that was the gold standard. They were bought out by a pharmaceutical company, and now it's shit, right? I called them up, because I've been dealing with Bergstrom since 1992, since they were founded, and I have a deep relationship with them. So I called them up and said, hey, I heard you guys were bought out by Balchem, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, and hey, did you guys change your formulation? Oh, how did you know? Blah, blah, blah. And then, hey, is your formulation now petroleum-based? And yes, it is, right? So the number one manufacturer of MSM in the world that supplies 99% of the MSM that's on the shelves of the supermarkets is now petroleum-based. It used to be based from pine. Now it's petroleum-based, right? So that's a big deal, and it makes it unhealthy. So our stuff doesn't have that. It's made from pine, but it only comes in a crystal form. Okay, so like other forms you can find it in are powder and capsule, and we don't sell it like that because my actually my original mentor is the manufacturer of it, and he won't break it down from a crystal structure into a powder or into a capsule because he doesn't want to denature it. And I understand that. Oh, hey, there's Kristen. Awesome, awesome. Let's get her in here. She's not coming up for some reason. Add to stage. I don't know. Kristen, can you hear me? I think you're frozen, Kristen. I think you might have to log out and come back in because your picture's not coming up here. So try logging out and coming back in, and I'll finish up the MSM real quick, and then I'll get back to you. So so with the MSM, so it comes in crystal form, like from us, so it takes a little bit of time to dissolve it and stuff like that, in warm water and drink it down. But that's how you do it. You dissolve it in water, in warm water, like lukewarm water, not hot water, so you could be able to drink it down and not denature it. And then just stir it up, and the warm water will dissolve the crystals quicker than regular room temperature water, right? But and that's MSM, and it's a synergist for the RSO, for the cannabis oils. But the woman was asking about the bitter taste, how you deal with it, and you just take it. You like with the bitter taste, you get used to it a little bit, but also the less toxic you are, the less bitter it is. So if you're super, super toxic, then it's going to be super, super bitter. If you go through like a cleansing and detoxification program, like the 21-day reset, or you just get healthier over time, then it'll get less and less bitter over time. Okay. As far as the benefits of MSM, there are a lot, right? So it's known as one of the 5 elements of, or actually one of the 6 biological elements of life. So there's carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur, right? So there's 6 different components or chemicals, and sulfur is that last one is the MSM, the methylsulfonomethane, and it's literally like the 3rd most abundant single substance in your body. So a person that's like my height and weight would have over 4 pounds of it in their body, just the one single substance, MSM. So MSM, it basically, your cell walls are comprised of MSM. So it makes your cell walls a better filter, because it makes your cell walls more pliable. So you could take in nutrients better and get rid of toxins better. And then like on a connective tissue level, it's really, really important for that. Like, so your hair, your skin, your nails, your ligaments, your tendons, your bones, and your teeth, right? Like all of that, it strengthens and makes it more pliable as well. Like, so your hair won't be brittle, it'll have more elasticity in it. Your ligaments and tendons, they'll be stronger, but they'll also be more elastic, so they won't be like hard and brittle and snap, right? And then together with the cannabinoids, the MSM and the cannabinoids together are synergists, and they make up a lot of different things. They really, really strengthen and harden your bones and your teeth. So people with like osteopenia, osteoporosis, and stuff like that, it helps to get rid of that. Like actually stop it, reverse it, and prevent you from getting it in the first place. It's super, super awesome for that. And then on so it's just really, really good for all of that kind of stuff. Then also on the health spectrum of it, like all your connective tissue, that's all health kind of stuff. But as far as like immune health and all that kind of stuff, your amino acids that make up like protein structures, right? Like a protein structure is a string of amino acids, and you think of that of those protein structures as making up muscle, right? But they also make up enzymes, which enzymes will break down your food, and they cause every action and reaction in your body. Like all your brain chemistry, everything. From is that. Oh, here we go. Let's get her back in here. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, sorry, I'm having Wi-Fi issues and all kinds of weird technology issues. How are you guys? How's it going?
Doing awesome. We're talking about MSM right now, just the benefits of it, because somebody had asked about it.
Did you tell him my trick? Did you tell him my trick? I've been bathing in it. I've been putting it in the bathtub because it doesn't smell when you put it in the bathtub. It doesn't smell like it tastes, And Megan, hi, I see your text. My Wi-Fi just came back on. The bathtub though has been like, I add that with Epsom salts and baking soda, and I bathe in that stuff, and I can't, like, it's amazing when I get out. Like, I feel it's like the detox, the combination of those three things too. I feel like in the bath for the skin, it's banger.
Yeah.
How are you, Al?
Yeah. Super awesome. So so I was saying how it's good for your connective tissue, like your hair, skin, nails, bones, teeth, ligaments, and tendons. And it's proven it's one of the most studied substances out there, and like as far as clinical trials and clinical studies, and like for everything from beauty to general health to athleticism, because it helps to recover from injury. Like I started taking it before it was legal for humans to take it. We would buy it from feed stores because they would give it to race horses, because you can't give race horses drugs. So they would give that stuff so that to keep their ligaments and tendons healthy. And I was a power lifter, so we needed that. So it's just it's super awesome just for all that stuff. It's missing in our food chain, and that's why we need it so much. And like Kristen was saying, like she does it in the bath like that. Like in the past, we sold it in eye drops, in in lotions and stuff like that, because it would really help out your skin. Like I said, like with the studies, like there's studies that where it helps with your skin, like tightening up your pores and literally getting rid of wrinkles, decreasing wrinkles. It could get rid of scars, because it puts the proper stuff there. Because like I said, your cell walls are made up of MSM, but if you don't have enough in you, then then something else will be put there, sort of like a bondo, and that's what a scar tissue is like a bondo. So if you do enough MSM over time, then it'll replace that, and it actually gets rid of scars. It's super fucking crazy, but it's been proven, in clinical studies and clinical trials to do that. It's added into a ton of beauty products just because of that. And you see it like the glucosamine, different things for sports stuff, but you have to take it by itself and take enough of it to get the beneficial results. That's MSM basically. So welcome, Kristen. Yes.
Thank you, Al. I like the eye drop idea. That's actually such a cool. What was it mixed with? Saline or?
Yeah, either just a what do you call it? The steam distilled water or a saline. Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, awesome. and it helps people with even with floaters and stuff like that, and then people like me with the glaucoma and things like that.
Yeah. That's what's up, dude. That's so cool. We got to get that back out for people. I like the eye drop idea. I know a few people that would probably want to try that. Okay. But what was I had something exciting to tell you. It's been a day. Shit, I can't remember what it is. I'm sorry, you guys. How's everybody doing? How's Megan? Hi, Joe. Oh shit, it's gonna get loud for 1 second, so I'm just gonna mute really quick. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, she has like 6 dogs that weigh more than her, and or 5 dogs, and and they I think they whatchamacallit, I think Joe's driving it or leaving, and they're greeting or saying goodbye. But yeah, they're pretty loud. But that's living up in the mountain, though, right? Living up in Humboldt, again, where the best cannabis in the world is grown. So let's see. Let me look at a question here while she's doing that, because the dogs could take up a little bit of time. Awesome. Yeah, so part of the thing that Megan's doing with us is she's actually documenting the cannabis industry, and that's one of the reasons she's working with us is because of the stories that are coming out. All the people we're helping, and the way we're going about it. And against the establishment, against big pharma, against the American Medical Association, and bringing truth back into health.
Oh yeah, like yeah. Oh,
Awesome.
look what I got here. Look what I got here. I've always had to stop and think what network we're on. I got wait, this one's purple cream, but I got a permanent chimeria, or
Permanent
two of them
chimeria?
actually. Yeah. So
Right
I was excited, and thank you. Those other ones we got when you were in town are looking beautiful.
The permanent marker?
Yeah, the permanent marker ones.
Right on.
They're like twice as big. They grew so quick.
That's awesome.
They're happy.
Yeah, when I went up to visit her a couple of weeks ago, my buddy that has a grow shop over here, he gave me some stuff to take up, to burn some cannabis herbs. It's called permanently high, like permanent, and then LEE, and then high, and it was like, but it worked so awesome. Then we saw a permanent marker at one of the dispensaries we went to, so we got some what I'm gonna call it, little seedlings or whatever you call them, and or clones
teens,
or whatever.
Teens, yeah, they're teens.
Yeah, teenagers.
They were about this size.
Yeah, and they're big, and they're twice that now.
Yeah, I
right
don't
on.
have them up here. I don't know if there's Wi-Fi over where they are. They're gonna go in the big pots. They're doubling in size really quick, so I think they're gonna be some fatties. So we're gonna give them some special treatment.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. So, yeah. So everything's like it's grown in soils. Sun. Getting it and everything like that. No LED lights or anything like that. That could actually, because that stuff, it messes with your fucking moods and shit like that. So one of the questions that we have, Kristen, is it's from this one of the community members, Yolanda, and she said, "How do I find the dosages for breast cancer and tumors?"
Okay.
So
they're
in the group, right? But like, what do you recommend?
That's a loaded question. It depends on where the tumors are, of course, and obviously they're in the breast, but if they've spread and where, I would recommend the oral protocol, which is in our school group, and you can download it. It's free. And then I would recommend topical application. You can apply it directly to the breast, and then you can also cover it with a castor oil a cloth with castor oil on it, and topically it absorbs differently through the skin, so you will not get high from it. And it's one of the treatments I used when I was healing from breast cancer. I highly recommend it in conjunction with the oral dose. I wouldn't recommend not taking the oral protocol, but did I just answer that right? I'm having technology issues, Al.
Right on.
I can't see any of the questions, and I know Megan sent them, but sorry.
Yeah, so
you're used to this by now, right?
So Kristen usually recommends doing like that, working up to that full gram a day, like just like traditionally orally, and then doing the other stuff extra on like the topical stuff on the breast, and mixing it with the castor oil, because the castor oil is a deep penetrating oil, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And so it has its own benefits, but it'll help to carry the RSO into your system better, and get directly into the breast, into the lymph nodes, into the lymph glands, and all that kind of stuff.
It's the closest to the source. But it's definitely use it supplementally. Don't don't get up to like a gram a day topical application and rely on that. If you can also take it orally, that's the move.
Yeah. You always recommend, even if you're doing suppositories, you want to do oral, So for sure. So yeah, and then like I said, there's a classroom section in our school group, and it's school.com/FECO, and maybe Megan could put the link in the comments or whatever, but or in the chat. But what you want to call it? And there's a classroom section, and there's a cancer like treatment protocol, the little card. You click on that, and then it has like 3 or 4 different variations of protocols of traditional, and then a 50-50 protocol, and then with like the daytime and nighttime formula, and then a suppository and oral protocol, just different things like that. So and it's all free. You don't have to. You don't have to purchase anything to get access. And there's videos and PDFs. Then you can download the PDFs, stuff like that. So here's one from Jarek, and he's wondering if RSO oil can help reduce swollen neck lymphoma. Any suggestions? So that would be similar to the breast, right?
Yeah, I would do the same, pretty much the same thing. Apply it topically anywhere on your body that you can, like if you can get it, I don't know how to word this, but if you can apply it topically in the area where you're having the issue, that's the move. You're putting it again closest to the source of the issue, and then also hitting it orally is the double whammy. And then suppositories also make another option depending on where it is. But for the neck, yes, I would apply it topically. I would also cover it with castor oil. There's people in the school group that have healed. I don't know if it was neck specifically, but a lot of people have healed using RSO from lymphoma. There's so many people.
Yeah, there's one guy that's he's actually going through it right now, doing it, because he's one of the. I was actually talking about him earlier today with a consultation I was on, but he had like a mouth cancer, and it started out in his tongue, and it was really mild, and he got some stuff like about 6 months ago, and he just didn't take it for whatever reason, and it started getting worse and worse, and then it's like it got really big on his tongue, and like he got this like tumor on his tongue, and then it like it spread to his mouth around, like literally in his mouth, and then now it's on his lymph glands, and it's on his neck, and he has this big, like a baseball size like lump on his neck, and like he's finally like, okay, I'm ready to start, like after all that. So so he's having to hit everything super hard, and they're talking about like colostomy bag, because he can't really eat, because because it's all in his mouth and everything, and like so that's just a little warning sign. Like if you have things that about early, then try to take care of them as early as possible, and what you call it. So anyways, yeah. So sure. Like we were saying, take it orally. Work if it's spreading. To areas, you do that gram a day orally, and then you do some topically on there. Just enough to get to mix it in and get it going. Like Kristen said, don't do a full gram. It could be 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams, whatever. It just looks good, for the area, and just mix it around. What kind of a cloth? Because like a lot of people are scared of gauze these days. Because so there are some gauze that doesn't have stuff on it, but it's hard to find. So and a lot of the Band-Aids and gauze has chemicals on it. So do you use just a regular cotton cloth or a microfiber cloth or?
Yeah, cotton or linen. So like everything that we have is made out of freaking plastic. Everything, all of our clothes, like this one actually is 100% cotton, but like your leggings, your towels, your washcloths, your blankets, your pillows, everything's made out of plastic, and plastic literally lowers the frequency of the body. Yeah, there's proof of all this, and things like cotton and linen and wool will literally raise the frequency of the body, and when you use them together, you're kind of canceling them out. So polyester, for example, has the frequency of a dead body, and it literally lowers your frequency in that lowers your healing ability. And when you use cotton and linen and wool, it'll raise your frequency. And so I always tell people, do not cover it. Like even gauze, if it's made out of cotton, even the chemicals on it are probably better than what's in the polyester and nylon clothes and towels and stuff that most people have. So,
Yeah.
but not really, but you know what I'm saying. Cotton or linen is the move. You can go to like thrift shops and you can get like old cotton t-shirts or baby blankets are always at the thrift shops for cheap.
Yeah.
The muslin blankets are great. I just buy those and I just cut them into pieces and to, you know, grab the size I need. And castor oil and RSO will stain literally everything you have. So maybe have a set outfit or two that you wear when you use them, because it'll stain your sheets if you go to sleep with it, like tucked in your bra, for example. You'll wake up with a stain on all your clothes and on your pillow and stuff. So yeah, I just keep like dedicated clothes now that I wear when I use it. So heads up on that. But cotton and linen is the move, and you should replace your clothing and your blankets. I know it's impossible to like do it all at once, but slowly start to make the move to replace. Pay attention to the things that your clothing is made out of and your blankets. And most important though, and I've been learning more about the feet. Most important is your socks. Get some good wool socks. Your feet are super absorbent. The sweat glands in your feet are super absorbent, and you're walking around like with plastic socks on, you know, socks literally made out of plastic and polyester and
Or maybe
all
you
the
guys are, but not me.
no, I got my linen socks on.
What you call it? But anyways, yeah.
Probably
So
don't
like
need socks.
there is the plastic thing, but there's also like Christian was saying, there's also chemicals like that are literally on the Band-Aid itself and stuff like that people are scared of too. And those chemicals are super toxic, and they actually add toxicity to your body and prevent you from actually healing, because you know because your body now has to get rid of that toxicity on top of trying to heal whatever disease you have. You know, so that's why you want to try to do things that don't have those kind of toxins in them. So using the linen or the cotton, you know, and cutting up little squares that'll, you know, be the right size for the little area that's why that's the ticket. You know, we're trying to lower our exposure to toxicity any way we can. You know, and because we're just being bombarded with it. You know, it used to be like the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat. And now it's the clothes we wear. You know, the fucking, you know, that the car we sit in. You know, like everything. Like people buy their hybrids, and you know, it's filled front to back with batteries, and they're just sitting in a fucking soup of whatever. You know, it's crazy. You know, like and all when we're trying to just do better for ourselves too, right? So that's one of the reasons why we're doing this stuff. You know, we go off on a little bit of tangents here and there, but it's all about awareness and awareness of overall health, right? You know, because some of the things we're talking about is what brought you here in the first place. It's what caused the cancer that's inside of you. You know, like wearing these clothes and using these, you know, types of things, like all of it together, not the one thing, you know, by itself, but all of it together, you know, causes that what we call toxic overload, you know, to where your body just can't get rid of the toxicity. And even if you do cleansing and detoxification programs here and there, you know, it's not enough. Like you almost have to do it all the time, you know, in the toxic soup that we live in. You know, it's really crazy. One person asked a question about like the amount of MSM that you need or what's recommended. And usually about 7 grams is good. 7 grams to, you know, and they say like 6 to 8 grams. That's what it used to be like a long time ago, like 6 grams for women, 8 grams for men. But that's back when like women weighed less than men, and that now everything's sort of mushed together. So it's right around like 7 to 10 grams, you know, because we live in such a toxic world. And then that's for maintenance. And then if you have an injury, then you could do like 15, 20, 30 grams, you know, like that's what we call a therapeutic dose, you know. But I've been taking it every day since 1992, at least, you know, that 7 to 10 grams, you know. And then what do we call it? Like I just finished a hernia surgery, like, you know, I had hernia surgery about a month and a half ago, something like that, and took massive amounts of RSO, massive amounts of the you know, the daytime N19 version, the CBD dominant, THC dominant, and I took the MSM and Shilajit. But MSM, I was taking like 20, 30 grams a day, you know. But I'm fucking healing badass, you know. I'm gaining
Healing
muscle,
machine.
you know. I'm fucking you know, I didn't do any pain meds, no aspirin, no over the counters, any of that shit, and had no pain. You know, I wasn't like toughing it out. I just had no pain because of the cannabinoids, you know, and everything I did. I'm gonna do a video on exactly the amounts I did and everything, because it's that's one of the things I'm an expert at, and is recovering from injury and surgery completely, where you're fucking 100% afterwards. It's not like, oh, that injury back in 2000, whatever, you know, like fucking, it's like completely fucking recovered. Because I've injured myself hardcore. I can't even tell you how many times in my life. Can't even tell you how many times this year.
Al's been given a few messages through some injuries this year.
Fuck, man.
How's your
Yeah.
knee? How's your knee?
Yeah. It's the swelling's almost all the way down.
Yeah. Awesome. You're a healing machine
we're
now.
expecting 100% recovery. I'm doing like you know, mile plus walks now and all this kind of stuff. I'm fucking hammering through.
Hell
And
yeah.
even that's making me gain weight, because I lost so much weight because of the surgery and stuff like that. You know, like I wanted to keep my body fat down and everything, and I couldn't work out and build muscle, so I had to lose weight. But that's one of the reasons I healed.
I'm kind of jealous you're in a tank top, to be honest. I keep forgetting it's so much warmer there than it is here.
Yeah, it was really cool today. It was like about 85.
It got up to 60 here. Oh man, I'm jealous. Oh.
Yeah.
Paul asked how much in teaspoons or tablespoons of the MSM, I think.
Let's see, a teaspoon, I believe, is 3.75 grams. So like a teaspoon and a half is 5.25 grams. You know, so like you do that morning and afternoon. All right. So and that would be 10.5 grams. So and that's a good dose for a guy. And especially if you work out and stuff, because it helps with recovery and things like that. It helps with your ligaments and tendons, all that kind of stuff. And what you want to call it, that you want to do it morning and afternoon or early evening. You don't want to do it before bed. So like the cannabinoids you do before bed because they help you to sleep through the night. But the Shilajit and the MSM you do in the morning and the afternoon or early evening. You want to do it twice a day just to get a better flow throughout you. But you do it in the afternoon or early evening because they both can give you energy. The Shilajit especially, because it's known for giving you energy. But the MSM can give you energy as well because it helps you just to absorb more nutrients, you know, and it's super awesome. So yeah, like that afternoon slump time, or before if you work out in the evening, you know, whatever afternoon. What you got there?
I have your Shilajit. I have Shilajit right here. I was gonna put some in my coffee, but my coffee is almost gone. I forgot to take it this morning. Becky asked, can this mix stop liver cirrhosis from turning to cancer and maybe reduce scarring? What would you say about, like, are you talking about the MSM, Becky? Probably.
What was the question?
Becky asked, can this mix stop liver cirrhosis from turning to cancer and maybe reduce scarring? I think she's asking about the MSM. Probably that with
the mix. It might be the trifecta of health: the RSO and the MSM and the Shilajit. And so it can help to heal that and prevent you from progressing into a cancer, for sure. Just like if you have a cancer, it's been known to help heal people that have you know liver cancer and all that kind of stuff. So if you're getting like into that cirrhosis kind of a thing, then it could help to stop that and to reverse it and heal it. And your liver is super resilient. You know, like it's super. It can heal from a lot. My dad actually did it. You know, and he drank a lot for a long time, and then he stopped, and it healed it because he had that. But yeah, it's better to do it now than it is to wait till you have the cancer, you know, and do it then, you know. So it just gets you to optimal health, right? It's not like this certain thing where like the RSO or whatever like attacks cancer specifically. It gets your body, you know, into a healthy state where it can get rid of the things that don't belong there, right? You know, and that's what optimal health is, you know, because there's always things going on. There's always things attacking your body, and your body's always fighting it off. But when you get into that, what we mentioned earlier with the toxic overload, then your body can't fight. That doesn't have enough ammunition to fight off everything. So that's when you get into the different symptoms of dis-ease. You know, and it can start off with a runny nose, dry skin, you know, getting colds and the flu, going into pre-diabetes, diabetes, you know, cirrhosis, and then into cancer, and then death. You know, there's 6 different stages.
But you can reverse that. I also highly recommend milk thistle, cleavers, corn silk is another really amazing one. These are all really good for the liver. Licorice root, and there's so many other ones too. Those are just like a few, but there's so many herbs that you can take that they help create the optimal environment for healing. They just they contribute to that. And milk thistle literally helps the liver regenerate cells. And I don't know about the other specifics of the other ones, but I know that for a fact, milk thistle helps the liver regenerate cells. And it's magic. I highly recommend combining those with these
milk
things.
thistle's the granddaddy of like liver cleansers and detoxifiers and stuff like that. You know, it's known for that, and like she said, regenerating cells and things like that. It's because like you're literal, like you can literally cut off part of your liver and it'll grow back. It's like cells can literally regenerate in your liver. It's pretty cool. So,
right. Hang on, I'm gonna put these in the chat, or you don't have to hang on. But
all right, then this one from Jane. Can RSO help with stage 5 kidney disease? And are your consultations free? So yeah, if you go onto the FECO.us/consultation, the consultation's free. But so it's the same kind of a thing, you know, with the that we just answered, you know, with the cirrhosis kind of a thing, you know, but you know, that's what the liver, this is kidney, you know, so it's another filtration system that's been compromised. And so yes, you can. The thing I didn't say about the cirrhosis thing though, and it applies to this as well, and it applies to everything, is that you need to take care of the root cause of the situation, you know, in order to actually heal, right? Because like if it, you know, whatever is causing that cirrhosis or whatever is causing the kidney disease has to be removed, you know, and replaced with something else, or just removed and nothing else put in its place, you know, just in order to get to the optimal health. Because like getting to optimal health is sometimes more about taking away than it is adding in, you know. And so like with cirrhosis, it could be drinking, it could be, you know, alcohol, you know, that's what they most times will attribute it to. But there's a number of other things that it can that can cause it, that they found over the years, you know. And you just have to be aware of what those are, and then if those things are causing that, then remove them from your life. You know, that's the biggest key, you know, or else it'll just be like a yo-yo and bouncing back and forth from, and you know, like, you know, I'm cancer free. Oh, I got cancer again. I'm cancer free, and then all of a sudden you're dead. You know, it's like, but you went through hell to get there. You know, hopefully that makes sense. But yes, it can help with the stage 5, you know, kidney disease. You know, it just you know, it goes from, you know, ill health to optimal health. You know, and
for sure. And there's again herbs that can help too that I highly recommend. Some of those are some of the liver herbs are also beneficial for the kidneys, but
Yeah, and then doing like a cleansing and detoxification program, like the 21-day reset for both of those, for the liver and the kidneys. That's one of the biggest things that would be recommended. For both these, like if you guys have this kind of stuff going on, then you would definitely want to do that trifecta of health. And then if there's a 21-day reset, like cleansing and detoxification program that's available, then you do that. And then also, like towards the end of it, you would mix in a slight amount of fasting, and that's what would really get your body like reset, basically. Just like the optimal tune-up, and get you in that healing state where you can accelerate the healing process and get to optimal health like quickly, sooner than later. Hopefully that makes sense.
that's what we're doing now. We're healing now.
Yeah.
Quickly too.
Okay. Here's one. And this is like a sort of a loaded question, and it depends kind of a thing as well. But what's the best way to take RSO, and is it best to microdose? So, what are your feelings?
It's different for everybody. There is no like one and done way to do it, and it gets confusing for people because sometimes you just have to figure out what works for you individually, because we all have different environments that we live in. We have different toxins, different illnesses, different diets, different medications, and different things going on in our body. So it's completely different for many people. Orally, as we said earlier, is the most effective way. So dosing it orally, and you can take it, you can just eat it, you can put it right on your tongue. And if you want it to hit the hardest, in my opinion, and like science kind of backs this up, is let it sit in your mouth for a minute or so, a few seconds if you can, as long as you can. It goes into your bloodstream a little more directly that way instead of going through your digestive system. So if you leave it sitting in your mouth, it'll hit you harder. If you don't want to feel it so much, you can swallow it and it'll go through your digestive system. Eating it without fat will help it not hit you so hard. You won't get as high. It won't last as long. We also tell people to take a good quality CBD, like the one MOVIDA makes, when you're if you're taking RSO and you're getting too high from it orally, because most people get the high from it orally. And then I just lost my train of thought.
We're talking about the RSO, like the best ways to take it. So with the CBD, if taking it with the RSO, if you get too high, what she's talking about is the pure crystalline CBD. That's the white label stuff. That's the stuff that will help you to bring the high down of THC. When we used to do the shows, the boys that are extractor boys,
The shady extract bros.
yeah, they would we had some young men helping us out and stuff, and they would hand out samples, and they would take them at the same time, and then they would get too high, and that's how we figured out the pure crystalline CBD would help them calm down and be able to work again, so, and then we started giving it out. But and then we do have a daytime version of the RSO, which is CBD dominant, that people will do during the day not to get high, and then they'll do the THC version at night, but to their home. But as far as the microdosing, so like microdosing can be good for like a flare up or something, like if you're trying to do something for pain, you have a little pain flare up or anxiety flare up or something, and you could take some THC dominant or CBD dominant stuff, and it could help you out, whatever, if you do a little microdose. But when you're overcoming stuff, the way we do it over here is on the opposite end, macrodosing, right? I call it macrodosing, and I'm doing a full frontal assault. That's what that gram a day does, because it's something trying to take you out. You need to take it out. It's not like medication where it has all kinds of side effects. Medication has all these side effects, so they try to do the minimum effective dose so you don't get maximum side effects, right? But we say that the RSO doesn't have side effects; it has side benefits, right? So you take more and you get even more benefits. So what you call it, you take a lot at first to overcome the situation, kick its ass, macro dose, full frontal assault, and then once you overcome the situation, then you can go down to do a maintenance dose, and what you call it, do like 100 milligrams a day or something light, just to, like a supplement, just to prevent reoccurrence and stuff like that. And it depends, because like Kristen like often says, like if you're like at a certain level of like your frequencies and different things like that, that you don't even need like RSO once you're optimally healthy. And to a certain extent, that could be the case, because you do make like you have an endocannabinoid system, and endo means within, and you do make cannabinoids inside of you. Your body does make like an anandamide, and then this other one called 2AG, right? And and that's why like certain people I feel are like super healthy, and they don't get headaches, they don't get this, they don't get that, like all these kind of things, and they're just, I think those people make like a lot more cannabinoids than other people, and then some people that get super sick and they react really well to the cannabinoids, they don't make as much as others and stuff like that, so to a certain extent that could be true, but in today's world, just like with the food, you used to be able to just eat food and not take supplements to be healthy, but it's so toxic now that you sort of need supplements. So that's why I like to do like just a slight little 100 milligram or whatever, and just to keep things away. And it seems to help people. And then it also helps with your brain function too, so, as you get older, it's a preventative thing for that as well.
For
What do you
sure.
think about that, Kristen?
I agree. Paul asked, does the THC high diminish doing 1 gram a day after, I thought it said 6 to 9 months, but that doesn't say it anymore. So the more you take it, the more tolerance you build up to it. It again, different for everybody. It depends on what you eat and your physical and emotional and environmental situation. But
Yeah.
I got up to, I was probably taking 2 grams a day, and I could barely feel taking 2 grams, which is 2 large syringes of it. I could barely feel anything after taking it. I would always get the munchies, no matter how high I felt. I would get the munchies every single time I take RSO. I can eat like crazy, but the high itself was much diminished. I barely noticed it. I could drive, I could do whatever. I maybe was a little more relaxed. I was usually not in pain, so I was feeling better from that. But like as
Yeah.
far as being like high, that goes down. It depends though how much you're taking and how often you're taking it. Even a day off can lower your tolerance a little bit. Depends again on
Yeah.
your individual situation though. Sorry, the
Yeah,
bug.
for sure.
Flying
Yeah,
around.
because like when I started taking it for the glaucoma, like I would always go in and out of bouts where because I've been working in cannabis for 40 years, but I'll go in and out of bouts where I would stop smoking it for a little bit and then do whatever. And I had just gone through a bout where I didn't smoke for quite a long time, and then I took the RSO. And I was just doing like that little grain of rice thing, because I was a beginner, and it would fucking blast me out of the world. Like I remember I'd drive to the bank, I'd take it at night, and I'd drive to the bank, because I forget to do a deposit, and I'd have to have money in the bank for the morning, because they're gonna yank shit out, because you have a business. And I hop in my car to go back home, and I'd be like, oh my God, like if I could be like an acid trip, like fucking shit, lights racing around and everything. And like today, if I could take a full gram, and I just get happy,
Yeah, isn't that
It's
wild?
I took like 600 or 700 grams, or not grams, milligrams, like so it's like about 6/10 to almost 3/4 of a gram at once last night, and I just slept good. I didn't really, not much happened, but I've been doing it RSO every day at 600 milligrams to upwards of 2 grams or more a day, for over 10 years, and so you do build that tolerance. Like for
Yeah,
my
for sure.
surgery, I was probably doing 2 to 3 grams a day, like if you can combine everything. that I was doing.
Yeah. I was hanging out with him after that and he was fine. Like, well, maybe not. We were smoking a lot of weed too. That's the other. So like when you smoke weed after taking RSO, it's not something I've like really paid a lot of attention to the data and stuff, but it would be interesting to do some polls on this because some people they feel a little bit of a different high when they smoke it versus when they eat it. And so if they some people can smoke a joint after taking a dose of RSO and some people cannot. So I don't know, Al, what's your experience with that? Because like you were taking RSO and we were smoking copious amounts of weed those few days. And what do you say about that?
I don't know. It does like the RSO just it doesn't affect me high wise, that much. Like I just the smoking marijuana, it for some reason it centers me, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a different high than eating it.
Yeah, yeah, it's a yeah, it's what we call it. Yeah, because the kick in high like at first, it was like more crazy with the RSO, and the high from smoking. Like I said, it more relaxes me. But that's the indica as well, too.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I found weed, I didn't find it until I didn't start smoking until I was 21, and when I started smoking around people, are like, you fucking need this shit, because like
Right?
I was like
Right?
I was difficult to be around, and then I was way more laid back when I smoked it.
Everyone should just smoke a little bit of weed. They might all just be so much happier. Paul says 6 to 9, I think he meant 6 to 9 months. I don't get that high. Will this vary from batch to batch? Absolutely. It depends on the strain that it's being made with. It depends on how it's being made. There's a whole bunch of variables that can affect the high of it. I don't where are you getting it? It depends on how they're making it. Let's start with that. Certain terpenes and cannabinoids in different strains will also affect the high you get, or sometimes the pain relief or the inflammation relief, or different symptoms that you're experiencing. Different terpenes and different cannabinoids can change how those affect you. And then combined with your diet and your medication and your environment, all that stuff that day can come into play with how you're feeling from it. So if you're taking, is it helping your pain, Paul? Is it Paula? I'm sorry. I apologize, Paula. Or maybe it's Paul. I don't know.
What did you tell me?
I'm not trying. I'm really bad at pronouncing names. I'm terrible at it. Oh, Becky said her first time taking RSO right size, it caught her by surprise the next day in church. I'm sorry for laughing, but I've been there. I mean, I haven't actually been in church high because I haven't done that in a long time, but the church part. But yeah, what a time to catch you. I mean, I guess, that would make it way more fun. Paul. It's Paul. Thank you, Paul. Okay, it's from us, Paul. How
Oh, it's Paul Guardia. Yeah. Hey, Paul. Didn't know that
hi,
was you.
Paul.
Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I was supposed to call you. I'll call you. I'll try calling you tomorrow. I was up in Humboldt visiting Kristen, and it got like a little bit hectic. So I'll give you a call tomorrow, Paul, if that's okay.
Yeah, Paul, it depends on like what dose are you up to, and there's a lot of variables. Al can probably help you more personally, but there's a whole bunch of variables in it, and depending on the batch and what it's made with, what strain, I can guarantee you that it was made well, but the different strains can definitely affect different things, including the high. So it still typically, even if people don't get high, they still feel pain relief from it usually. There are some variables to that, but even if you're not getting high, if I'm not sure why you're taking it, but that's usually whether they get high or not doesn't matter. It still is doing the things that you want it to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep. So with the I see a question that like how much in teaspoons or tablespoons, and then 4 tablespoons per day. So the if you're talking about the MSM, it's one and a half to 2 teaspoons twice a day. Teaspoons, not tablespoons. Okay. And like if and like if you have like the condition that you have going on, then I would just do 2 teaspoons twice a day. You know, you could do slightly more than that if you want to, but I would do at least that much. You know, to and that's exactly what I personally do, because I'm too lazy to do a half a teaspoon, so I just do 2 teaspoons. So what you call it? But yeah, that's and that's a very safe dose. Like I said, if you could even do you could do double that much if you wanted to. There really is no like toxic dose of it. You know, like I said, I've taken like 30 grams a day for like, you know, a couple of months at a time to overcome some injuries that sometimes, you know, and it just helped. You know, like doctors are always like, how the hell are you, you know, recovering so quickly? You know, and they've been telling me that for like 30 years. That's the only time I ever see a doctor is if I'm injured and can't fix myself.
We are healing machines. That is what we are. We are so incredibly powerful. And all these, like, there's all these tools out there that we can use to help make that happen a little bit faster. And so just, he
there's
says
one here,
3
can RSO help an ulcer? So like there's all kinds of different kinds of ulcers, but like, so if you're talking about like an ulcer in your stomach, you know, because there's also again in your skin, like that's like people with Morgellons have that a lot and stuff like that, you know. But if you're talking about like you know, in your stomach, that kind of a thing, it can for sure, because it helps with inflammation, you know. And the MSM for sure you would want to use MSM, and you like literally like the first thing you do in the morning would be MSM, like fucking like before you brush your teeth, before you fucking like drink anything, you fucking mix up MSM and water and drink it down before you swallow spit. You fucking you take that down, and it'll coat the lining of your stomach, and it'll help to heal and detoxify it, right? But you have to do it like before you brush your teeth. You know, everything has to be done then, and then you can take it throughout the day. Like if you actually had like some severe issues, you would want to do it even like 3 to 4 times a day. You know, like and just to get like that you know, constant flow and healing inside of you, and you need more that way of the MSM. And then the RSO you would just take normally, you know, like depending on what you're taking it for, or if you're just taking it for that, then it would probably be anywhere from like it could be like 100 to 200, you know, somewhere in there milligrams. It could be as high as 400 milligrams, but usually 100 to 200 milligrams for something like that, you know, is good. Like something like that's not generally like a gram a day, unless you have like crazy amounts of ulcers, you know, like this, you know, where it's, you know, becoming like a stomach cancer or something like that, you know. But what do we call it? So the level depends on the level, and how your body reacts to the stuff depends on the amount that you take. That's why we have ranges, right? So
yeah, for sure. Paul said 3 CBD and 2 TH. I'm assuming he meant C, full squeezers, full droppers. So
yeah, he's doing 1,000 milligrams. He's doing 600 milligrams of the daytime formula and 400 milligrams of the nighttime formula.
Okay. Yeah, if you dose up after, you know, depending on how long you've been at that dosage too, you know, it levels out pretty quick. You build up a tolerance really quickly, especially as you start to, you know, the more you take, the more tolerance you build up. So
yeah, and like so like I've spoken to, you know, him. He's an actual client. I don't think he'll mind me saying this because it'll also help other people, but it doesn't hit you the same all the time. Okay, but you could take the same exact amount, and especially when you're first starting out, and one day it'll blast you out of your mind, and the other day it'll just, gets you slightly high or smiling or whatever, and you're able to handle it. And then you're all, oh, I'm used to it now. And then the next day you get blasted out of your mind again, the same exact dose,
Yeah.
So you never know. And like Kristen said, it could be, what you ate that day or what you didn't eat that day, and all, a bunch of different factors. But that's just the nature of the beast too. You can't predict how it's going to affect you.
Yeah, there was somebody just a couple of nights ago that was having a very intense high from it, and she was like, I measured it out. It was the same exact dose as yesterday, but yesterday was fine and today is not. And then eventually figured out that she had taken a different medication earlier in the day, and it completely changed the reaction of the RSO, right? So there's all kinds of factors that come, switch that too, and medications that you're taking are definitely one of them too. So yeah, I highly recommend taking it on an empty stomach, because the fat that you eat can definitely intensify the or I'm sorry, I meant for you, Paul, take it if you want to feel it, take it on a full stomach after like a high healthy fat meal, and it will hit you a little bit harder and last a little bit longer. So if that's what you want, if that's your jam.
Yeah. So I wish Megan was on here because we could, because this reminds me of Sosa, this artist guy.
Why does that sound so familiar? Did you guys tell me about that? We could bring Megan on.
Yeah, he's an artist, and he was have the glaucoma, so he was going to do a painting for me for glaucoma, and I had the oil that I was taking that recovered my eyesight, and I gave it to him.
You did tell me this.
To mix into the to the paint, so that oil would be in the painting. And I told him, be careful if you take it. I'm not going to take it. And I got at 2 a.m. I got a phone call from his girl. And I thought it was butt dialing me. I'm like, you can't be telling me at 2 a.m. And then it called back, and it was his girlfriend. So is this having a whatever? They wanted to take him to the emergency room, and but he didn't want to like out me or something. It was just hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, do not go to the emergency room if you get high. It will I promise you, it will only make it worse.
Yeah,
you don't need to go to the emergency room, no matter how high you get. Yeah, ride it out. Get some snacks and put on a good show, or find something that makes you feel good. Go ground when if you're freaking out, if you're panicking because you're too high. Ground, like that is literally a real thing. Find you can go put your toes in the soil, you can stick your hands in a house plant. Like, this is how I ground, is I stick my hands in the soil. I work with my plants. I'll transplant a house plant if I always have plants around, but if you only have a house plant, that works. But you can go hug a tree, you can take a bath or a shower. Those are all, like, there's all kinds of ways you can ground, and it literally will stop a panic attack. And it also helps when you're too high. So find something that makes you feel good and connected with the earth, and go do it as much as you can. But especially if you're too high and or having a panic attack, it's like a game changer for that. So
right
pro tip, I learned those the hard way.
Okay,
peppercorns. Yeah,
this says this person's new to RSO and CBD oils. His mom has stage 4 colorectal cancer and radiations. I'm not sure what that means. And now on immunotherapy. So maybe she was doing radiation and she's on immunotherapy. Feels nauseous and pain meds don't work. Wanted to know what will work for her pain, appetite, cancer, any online stores where I can find it. So
I don't see that one.
Yeah. I mean, that's what RSO is known for, right? It's a help them with the symptoms of cancer and the symptoms of radiation and immunotherapy and stuff like that. Because like people die from the fucking chemotherapy and radiation and all the other stuff, more than the cancer, and it causes more side effects. So it helps. Like if you have cancer, you should be doing RSO. Just to relieve the side effects. Not to mention the fact that you could actually overcome it. Too. And then if you're doing chemotherapy or radiation or anything like that, And even if you're doing those friggin' tests where you have to put the dyes, those contrast dyes in you that are full of chemicals, that stuff's crazy toxic. I mean, if you're doing any of that stuff, you need to be doing RSO and doing like cleansing and detoxification.
Detox.
I mean, you need to be doing all of it, because again, it's that toxic overload. That's the whole theme of today, I guess. If you put more toxins inside of you from from the allopathic medicine, and even the contrast dyes and all that kind of stuff, your body has to get rid of that toxicity, and it'll put priority on that toxicity over the cancer. Because it's an actual foreign substance. The cancer is happening inside your cells. So there's like a mitochondrial fatigue that's happening in there. And it can't function properly. So it reverts back into these, like prehistoric kind of, ways of processing and, or making energy or whatever, and it goes into that fermentation process. But the other stuff, the foreign toxins, those are things that your body can actually get rid of, and it knows if it gets rid of that, it'll be better. So it puts fucking priority on that shit. So if you have cancer and you keep on putting toxic shit inside of you, you're preventing yourself from getting better. Like that. That's or you're slowing it down dramatically, and that's why people today are living with their cancer more, instead of getting rid of it. And the people are like, we just had another person, what do you call it, on Sunday, no detectable cancer, breast cancer.
Oh, I got one today. So one of I'm not gonna say who it is, but she got a clean scan the other day, and she has had breast cancer, and then it had metastasized to her brain, and for the first time since discovered, the one in her brain hadn't grown and everything else had shrunk 90%. So
Awesome.
not quite a clean scan, I guess, but it was great news. She's
Yeah.
on week 8 of the oil, and she's up to the gram a day now. And so yeah, that's awesome, dude. Like, Al, like, how cool is this? Like, there's just more and more you guys, like, I can't even tell you, I got goosebumps. Like, I just,
Yeah.
there's more and more of this. It's almost like it's like every couple days there's at least someone that's telling us the same thing. And
Yeah, queen scans, no detectable cancer.
cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And this is and this one is an example of the ones where I don't recommend this, but she actually did chemotherapy, and it's like supposedly like a more holistically based chemotherapy and all kind of shit, but it's still chemotherapy, right? But this newfangled kind of one. But she did chemotherapy alongside the RSO and got the no detectable cancer. And then now she's doing the 21-day reset to get to detox from the chemo. That's smart to do that. It's not smart to do the chemo, but if you did the chemo, then you need the detox from it. So it's smart. So at least she's doing that. And but regardless, she has no fucking no cancer and detectable right now. So that's the thing. You need to definitely. So it's good that we brought this up. So if you have that, right, then and we talked about this before, I think, Kristen, or that they if you do chemo alongside the RSO, then when you stop doing the chemo and they say like you're good to go, what do you say, like about it, because you could keep on doing the RSO for about a month or so, right?
I would recommend, because the chemo itself and all the medications and the chemicals are destroying, as Al said earlier, the healthy cells, and typically people need to stay on it a little bit longer. Otherwise, they tend to need that maintenance dose or another whole protocol again, because it comes back. So
yeah.
um
So once they stop the medication stuff, the chemo, the whatever, then in other words, just to be clear, you keep on going with the RSO for at least a month. Month and a half, something where
as long as you can.
it's good, good, and you're able to get rid of some of that, the remnants of the chemo and the whatever medications you may have been doing, and those contrast dyes and all that shit, because you have all that stuff in you. It's still, and at the same time, it would be good to do a cleansing and detoxification program alongside that too, and that would and doing that would enable you to be rid of it for sure and not have the reoccurrence, right? Because people will do that, like, oh, no, I have no cancer. Then a year later, or 18 months later, oh, it's back. Then it's gone. Then it's back. Then it's gone. It's like you don't want to do that because it's painful going through that. The allopathic ways of doing things. Hopefully that makes sense.
100%.
Alrighty. Is there any other questions?
Yeah, wait, hang on. Let's see. The RSO and church one is still making me giggle. RSO kept my beagle alive till he was almost 17 years old. He was running around like a puppy and passed over waiting for his dinner uneventfully. Thank goodness. Oh, that's amazing, Rick. That's amazing. I have a similar story about a dog of ours. He lived to be almost 17. And RSO definitely saved his paw. They wanted to amputate his paw. He had a tumor growing on his paw, and we said no, and we took him home and we started him on RSO, and he lived to be almost 17 after that. It was so cool. That's awesome. A beagle too. Those are great dogs.
Nice. Awesome. The what I'm gonna call it. Just this person said, where do I get the MSM? And it says clergy, but I meant in Shilajit. And on the myfitlife.net site, there's a supplement tab, and you'll see the only supplements there are besides the our cannabinoids are Shilajit and MSM. So you'll see those two in there. And it's it's badass stuff. Yeah, and beagles do, like dogs do, and the cats do really well with our stuff. But we used to, one of our clients, her mom had a beagle rescue, so I used to donate a bunch of our CBD to them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they did it really well. Yep.
Oh, that would be great. There was another question from Ventislava. My father is with a very damaged liver and enlarged liver. Is it possible to take a protocol? What is the option to fix it first as an emergency? We kind of covered that already earlier in this live, right? It's similar protocol. Hang on a second. It's just reloaded. Al, would you say anything else to that besides what we talked about earlier?
Yeah, I mean, you would want to do the same kind of a protocol pretty much for cancer, but you would do the MSM for sure. Like that's a crucial part, and the Shilajit. Like that trifecta thing. And it would be similar to the cancer. Regenerating. All the organs and stuff like that, and get into that optimal health. It's the same exact thing. It's essential nutrients basically, right? These are things that your body can't create on its own or create enough of on its own to get to optimal health. So you have to take it from outside sources. That's what essential nutrient is, right? So the trifecta of health, the RSO or FECO, and is on top of the pyramid, and then down at the bottom is the MSM and Shilajit. Those three things are, at least what I feel, are the biggest rocks that have the most impact on you, and if you just put those three things in, then your life will be so much better, and you can get rid of so much stuff, and then you won't need the fucking 40 other supplements that people take, right? Because we talked about this before,
and a lot of the medications,
right? Like people are on like many medications and then many supplements. Like you ask them what supplements they're taking, and they'll give you 3 pages of supplements because this thing helps that, this thing helps that, this thing helps that. And it's like, if you have optimal nutrition inside of you just to begin with, by taking things like the RSO and Shilajit and MSM, those essential nutrients. And then if you need something extra, something like a chlorella or spirulina, and that's basically almost all you need. There's a couple other things that can be done if you have the little, whatever's, but it's not 40 different things. It's literally 3 to 5, different things that you can take on a consistent basis, and then adding in a couple herbs, for different issues here and there along the way. But the amount of supplements that you actually need, if you take the proper ones, it's very small. Because if you take those ones, then the other symptoms of dis-ease that you have won't occur, and then you won't have to take this thing for that thing, because because that's more allopathic, or Western medicine kind of thinking, trying to get rid of symptoms as opposed to healing your body, right?
100%.
Yeah, that's more holistic nutrition, or what they call terrain theory as opposed to germ theory, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right on. Hey, when are you doing the next 21-day cleanse? When does that start?
I was trying to think about that because I was talking to a lady today that was like, I need to do that, whatever. But and probably in June, or the end, like the end of May or June. Okay. Maybe in between Mother's Day and Father's Day or something like that.
Okay.
All
right. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it too. We missed one. Natil said my friend was diagnosed with CHS, cannabis hypermesis syndrome, after severe bouts of vomiting, abdominal pain, etc. Has anyone else had experience with this in RSO? So many people have, but it's not because of the RSO. Chances are very good that it's because the RSO that they're taking is contaminated with pesticides, fungicides, things like neem. The side effects of neem oil exposure, which is something they spray on plants all the time, and people think, oh, it's fine because it's neem, but it's not. You don't want to ingest it. And the side effects are literally the same thing as the CHS that people are coming out with. Or the other one that people they're calling it is scromiting, people screaming and vomiting after taking large amounts of cannabis.
Yeah. So and like I said, like, so the toxins that are in the cannabis, like that it was either grown with or that was applied to it afterwards, is what's making people sick, and not the actual cannabis, right? And like, people don't understand, especially because these people are getting this stuff from dispensaries, and dispensaries, like, people think that they're like pesticide and herbicide and fungicide free, and it's like the exact opposite of that. And they're not even like told not to put pesticides on their stuff. They're just told not to put certain pesticides on their stuff. So if you have, there's an actual list, and if you have a pesticide that isn't on that list, it's technically legal to put that pesticide on there. It's a loophole. So what the cannabis companies are doing now is the large cannabis companies, and that's why we exist, because we need it ourselves. We need pure product, so we give out pure product, But the cannabis companies are literally buying pesticides from China because they're not on the list for the of the American pesticides, and like one bottle of pesticides could have 15 different pesticides in that one bottle. So that's why when they did that dirty weed at the dispo thing, like that expose, and Megan and I did that 2-hour video on it. That's why there was like oils and flour that had 20 plus pesticides, and like 2,000, not like 2 times, but 2,000 times the allowable amounts of certain things. And then like whatchamacallit, and then other ones where there just wasn't any like because those are the violation ones, and then the other ones were ones where like these ones are pesticides and herbicides and fungicides, but they're not on the list because they're from China or they're from wherever, like some other country where it's and those loopholes are it's causing that hyperemesis or whatever syndrome and the scromidyne and all that kind of shit. It's
crazy.
It's super bad and harmful.
It's crazy.
Not
And
to
the
mention the
other
fact
thing
that
is
like the mold and shit, right? Because if it's oil that you're taking, then they don't use good flour to make oil, and this for dispensary oil, that they use oil that is turned moldy, and they can't sell for flour anymore. So they turn it into oil. And then if it has mold on it, they'll remediate it. They'll put it through this remediation bullshit that has more toxicity and more whatever, and
more chemicals.
It's nuts what the stuff goes through that's on the shelves. It's
insane. And they don't have to, like, most states don't require labeling of like if it's been remediated. So if your weed tests dirty for fungicides, pesticides, whatever, you can send it to certain companies and they will clean your weed using sometimes radiation, sometimes other chemicals. And then they will give back to you. You can package it up and you can sell it. Most states that are legal don't have any kind of requirement for them to tell you that it's been remediated. And the ones that do have it aren't enforcing it. So nobody's labeling it and they do this all the time, like more often than not, this because cannabis is susceptible to so many things. It's not easy to grow good weed, especially on a large scale, and in the environments a lot of people are forced to grow in. Like there's a lot of fuckery. It goes so deep. It's actually insane what they're doing, and the symptoms that people experience are similar. And the other thing that's important to remember is if you're buying contaminated RSO from the store and you're taking, let's say for a cancer protocol of it, and you're getting up to that full gram a day, then you're taking a gram a day of concentrated, whatever's in that plant is concentrated, right? And you're taking large amounts of it. So if it's dirty, it's literally doing the opposite of what you need it to do. So it's like so important to know your farmer and know where your oil was grown, where the flower for your oil was grown, and know how it was made. Like this is the most important thing, because it could literally make people worse. Because especially if you're taking a gram a day of concentrated any pesticide, that's a mass amount of it, and concentrated because it's the way it's extracted and how the oil is made. It's concentrated form of the plant, right? And anything that's in it. So yeah, a lot of people are like there's studies out there where they've done studies, and they've come to the conclusion that a gummy might have a little bit of a pesticide in it, and that little bit in that 5-10 milligram gummy isn't going to hurt you. But when you're taking 1,000 milligrams a day of oil, like you're taking 1,000 times that little bit that's just in that gummy. Does that make sense? Did I say that right?
For sure.
Yeah, people don't understand that part about it, and
because again, like 60 grams, like the Rick Simpson Oil kit, 60 grams, that's what that's a full pound of weed. Like it takes 1 pound of weed to make 60 grams, of oil. So like all that volume is of pesticides and herbicides and fungicides that may have been sprayed on that is concentrated down into that 60 grams. So you're taking all of that in a short period of time, and that's what she's talking about. Like it's a super concentrated form of either goodness or badness. Like if you have a good quality oil, then it's going to be a super concentrated form of goodness inside of your body that you couldn't get inside of you by smoking it or making edibles and butter and stuff like that. So you concentrate it down into that form so you can take enough of it to get the beneficial results. But if it has bad shit in it and you're taking concentrated forms of bad shit, then you're just going to accelerate more bad stuff going on inside of you. You're going to accelerate sickness and dis-ease inside of you. So people need to understand that kind of thing, and why we think that going to the dispo is crazy. If you go to the dispo to try to get healthy, like I understand, like if you having a party and you don't have access to some black market weed that might be good, and you want to go to the dispo and get something like that, or there's like a bachelor party or what a bachelorette party going on or something, you want to do some gummies or something and have some fun, then I could understand going to a dispo. But if you're trying to heal yourself, if you have cancer or leukemia or chronic pain or something that's causing your fucking life to be sidelined, and like this dispo oil, fuck no. I think you're
Fuck no.
crazy. I mean, I mean, after knowing everything that's out there and all the fuckery that goes on, even with people that are supposedly like us, like if you know about us and you don't get your oil from us, I think you're fucking crazy. It's truth though. Like what did that guy say?
I wouldn't take anyone
that sent us
else's
that
oil.
message the other day. Like he went to 4 other places and they all fucking whatchamacallit, scammed him, and then he said this thing like you're legit, your fucking team's legit, your oil's legit, thank you so much, blah blah blah. Like like it was just like fucking, he goes, I spent thousands of dollars at other places and got scammed on every one of them. Thank you so much for giving me something that's quality, and
That's awesome.
it's nuts, because you don't think that's going to happen, right? Because like it's people have cancer, people have leukemia, people have chronic pain that's fucking sidelining them and causing them to be fucking hooked on opioids. Like nobody would scam them, but fucking everybody's like it's fucking crazy. I was talking to Mike Wise, and he thinks that it's not even a person, that it's like a fucking those incubator things where it's just like people that clock in and that's their job to fucking scam people, with all kinds of different things, and they just then they'll talk to you on the phone like because they're literally like RickSimpsonOil.com, like they're talking to people on the phone and they're scamming the fuck out of people. Their oil is shit.
One of these days I want to get some of that shit and test it and see what's in it.
Oh yeah, it's been tested.
No, I know, but I want to do the test.
Yeah, it's fucking it's fucking crazy. And I mean, you could see like if you know how to read C of A's, you could see like all their shit's fake, and all it's crazy. But people buy that stuff. People buy the hell out of it. That lady I talked to today, she's like, I bought RickSimpsonOil.com. I fucking bought the dispensary oil and fucking blah blah blah, and so thankfully she found us.
People think that because it's RickSimpsonOil.com that it's owned by Rick Simpson, and he doesn't make or sell the oil. I mean, maybe he makes it for himself, I don't know, but he doesn't sell it. And so but there's all these websites out there for right now dominating the top spots on Google, and they're going away though. But
and people know, like he doesn't know that much about health to begin, that in general, people treat him like he's some health guru or something like that. He doesn't know about health that much. He just figured out that this oil could work for certain things, and but he made it a certain way, because of what was available back then. There wasn't the internet and shit like that, the way it is now. But there's more efficient and cleaner ways to make it, which we do and stuff like that. But he like, Mike lived with him for a year, and then fucking, and I've seen, like little things that he's done recently, and the way he talks, you could tell he knows nothing about fucking health and healing. He even said that he wanted to do a solventless RSO, and fucking that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't work. I know because I've done solventless, and I'll go blind off of it with my glaucoma. There's specific, scientific reasons why the ethanol works, because of the dual polarity, the amount of nutrition that it pulls from the plant, as opposed to like a fucking BHO, butane, or a fucking CO2, all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. That's why we exist though, because people are people guess at the way to make it, and you know, there's specific things that you need to do to keep all the nutrition in there, you know, just so you don't fuck it up. You know,
Yep.
that's the main thing with things like RSO is just get it from the plant to the oil and don't fuck it up. You know, like it's not, there's no magic that you need to add to it to make it better. Just don't fuck it up. Don't destroy the fucking
Right.
valuable shit inside of it. You know?
Yeah.
It's like when a girl says yes at the nightclub, you know, when you're like 21 and you're like, and I just don't say any stupid shit on the way over back home. Just fucking don't fuck it up. You know, that's it. You know, like it's, you know, so it's the same kind of thing. Don't fuck up that oil. You know, it's you know,
respect the plant, respect the oil. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Like it's a whole thing. And that's like this. It makes me sad because most people in the industry don't give a shit about the plant at all, or the people that are going to use it. Like they just don't care. They're only in it to make money. And then what happened was the industry took a dive, and no one was making money, including the people that didn't give a fuck about the plant or the patient. And those people were losing tons of money, which was all they ever got into it for to begin with. So then they really turned into like creepy, fucking sleazy types of people doing bad things because they were desperate and broke. And it's the snowball effect with it, you know. And it sucks. Dana said that your son he was affected by the shitty stuff at the dispensaries. The vapes, anything in a vape, you don't want. You don't want. If you really need to get a vape, get a live rosin vape. Or live rosin. That's about the only thing I would vape, and I probably wouldn't even do that. Get a dab rig and some concentrates. But don't be vaping anything that's put into a vape cartridge for you. You probably don't want it unless it's like a good clean live rosin. I don't know. I probably won't be able to see these, but can you see that?
yeah.
That's a live rosin, and these are good to vape. You can vape them with a nectar collector, which is just like a little tube with a metal tip at the end to catch the smoke, or you can get a dab rig. But
Yeah.
those vape pens are just no good in 100 different ways, and you should see the shit that they put in those. Like if you think RSO has been messed with, like they can really mess with this stuff, because it's like anything that you don't see the beginning product in the end product, that can be messed with. And in the cannabis industry, because if that was a sneeze, gesundheit. In the cannabis industry, like I said earlier, there's so much fuckery because the money has disappeared in it, that people are desperate and they'll do just about anything to make a buck and not lose their businesses or whatever.
Boom boom.
Oh, that's so pretty. I can't.
Yep.
It's a delay on my computer. I can't see it
Yeah,
very well.
it's sort of hard to see how badass it is, but
That's dope.
yep.
We didn't do any dabs when you were here this last time, Al.
Yeah, this is, for those that don't know, this is a dab rig. It's from it's across from Phil Siegel and Hepe. It was a gift. Yep.
That's what's up. That's beautiful.
That motherfucker, the price tag on it was $5,000.
Holy shit. Oh my God. All I would break that for sure. I would break that. Do not ever let me use that, Al. Lock it up. All of our glass broke. All my bongs and everything broke in the last earthquake that we had. I like watched them fall off the shelf and hit the floor.
This is my little travel bong.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, like those types of get yourself some glass, get yourself a bong or something. Like don't use those pens. And I know they're convenient, but there's like better options than
that's why we don't
things.
sell them anymore. Like I used to even have these CBD ones that were so good because they made you feel good. Like Megan was there in LA one day. Like there was a producer there and a director that were talking to us, and we gave them some to try out. Just they're like, they were looking at us weird, like, what's going on? oh, we feel good, but we're not high. It's like, well, yeah, it's possible to feel good and not be high, but like it just made you feel really
What?
good, like. And people with anxiety, they would take a puff, and their anxiety, their panic attacks, whatever they had, would go away like instantly. Like it was fucking crazy. But and I would infuse it with terpenes, so it was just like this, the cannabinoids and terpenes, so there's no like things that can give you popcorn lung and all that kind of stuff. But I just didn't want to promote, vaping, so I stopped making them. Because like ours were healthier, but if they couldn't get ours, they were going to go to the dispo or to the smoke shop, and get their stuff. So it's like, fuck, I don't want to promote that.
Yeah.
So the live rosin that she showed, we were talking shit about live rosin earlier, right? And then she shows live rosin, and this is what I would use. Well, live rosin for dabbing, for smoking and getting high, that's what you want to use. You can't dab RSO, has chlorophyll in it, and it'll taste like shit.
Don't do it.
But like so it's two different things. Healing and getting high are two different things. Okay, yeah, so the healing, RSO, FECO, full extract cannabis oil. Getting high, live rosin, like or herbs, like flour, clean flour and clean live rosin,
rosin is different than resin too, by the way. Live resin is different than live rosin. There can be good live resins, but the live rosin is like,
yeah, no everything chemicals. Is so fucking specific. It's only one letter, right?
It's literally right. I was like, who decided that this is what we were gonna call it? That's so dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so yeah, it's sort of like a minefield for people, like ROSIN. Because like you said, there is a live resin, and that's not what you want. So live rosin for getting high, and then the RSO for the actual healing.
Yeah, that's the move, man.
Yeah,
this is a good brand, Al. Earl Hill. These guys are freaking awesome. Living soil, organic, and I can't get it to focus. I'm sorry, but Earl Hill, they have a manufacturing space available. Interestingly enough, or they did a few months ago. But yeah, there are some good brands out there. We talk shit on a lot of the. We don't usually mention specific brands, but we talk shit about them because they deserve it. This needs to get out to people. But there's also a few really, really good ones like Earl Hill. Soul Spirit Farms is another good one if you're in California. Hum Farms, also good. I happen to be one of the people that grows the weed for them. So and they're just really, really amazing humans. There are good brands out there, and there's other good brands in other in other states that grow this plant that you can get from. So I just want to be clear, I'm not talking shit on everybody in the industry, because there are some good ones. Like
99.9% of them, yeah, because my buddy, he has a company in Colorado. I can't think of the name of it right now for some reason, but he does like the KNF, the Korean natural farming, whatever, and the little compatible crops, and he does everything. He has like this. He does live rosin. He built the machine that does it like the fucking badass ways, like in 70 different dispensaries. And his shit's awesome. But like, he's the only one in Colorado that I know that does that. And you mentioned like what, two or three in California out of all the hundreds. So they're, so it's like that. Ask Megan. Megan, she interviewed like well over 1,000 cannabis companies, and that's why she latched on to us, because she said MOVIDA is literally the best, like bar none, from soil to oil, like, everything matters, and we fucking make sure it's all the best of the best, like every single fucking thing. It doesn't matter what it is, literally the soil, the nutrients, the seed, everything, sunlight as opposed to, fucking the LEDs. I mean, every single thing, every component that's used to fucking to create the RSO, to extract it from the plant, and then to recover the ethanol, all that stuff. It's like the best of the best equipment. It's all lab grade equipment. It's not commercial equipment, right? because those are two different things. The big cannabis companies, they use commercial equipment that is for throughput and output, right? You could like go through like 100 kilos, 1,000 kilos a day of oil, and and whatchamacallit, and like the most that we could do is like maybe like a kilo right now, and it's fucking much different because the lab grade equipment, it's meant for actually doing things in the lab, so you keep all the components inside of the substance that you're working with, so you can test it and get the actual correct feedback on it. So it preserves more nutrition. It has a much lower output and throughput, but but the quality of the actual material is way better, and that's what we use. So like we won't go from something that'll do like from a kilo a day to like 100 kilos a day. We'll just get more of those systems that could do a kilo a day, that do the awesome stuff, and get more operators to look over those things. It's a matter of not just having it's a matter of having the best stuff, but not just having that, but using the best processes and the best equipment that won't degrade the nutrition in the plant along that way. Hopefully all that makes sense. People don't even know to ask the questions that we know to do. Like they don't understand why things are bad. Even the small operators, even the guys that are making their RSO for you in their rice cookers, they don't know fucking shit, like the growers, the growers, they don't know why you shouldn't use pesticides, herbicides, or fungicides. Okay, they don't know why. They think it's because they think people want to grow organic, or when they hear me or Kristen talk about growing organically and without the chemicals and biodynamically, and regenerative farming practices, all that stuff. They think that we're talking about that because it grows a bigger yield or something like that, and it's not about that. It grows a better, high quality plant with more nutrition inside of it and without toxic shit inside of it. Because I hear these people all the time at the grow shop, my buddy owns, like I use these pesticides and blah blah blah. My shit was still fire. It'll look good, it'll get you high, but fucking it's full of chemicals, and if you take that shit in, you're gonna get sick.
Yep.
If you eat fucking food with chemicals in it, you eat how many times a day? You're getting chemicals in you every single time. If you smoke weed multiple times a day, then you fucking getting chemicals in that way. Like everything, it's fucking crazy. Like that one little thing won't get you sick, but the whole conglomeration of everything will. All that toxicity added up together will. So why do you want it in the I know you don't, but why would anybody want it in the what something they're trying to use to heal themselves with, right?
Well, just most people don't realize that it's in there. It's kind of like our food. Like most
it's an
people, well, I
awareness
mean, I'm
thing.
hoping more people understand that it's in literally all the food, but by now, but like most people just don't, I think, just don't realize this, right? Like they don't know. Like how would you know unless you find out, right?
Yeah. Or they just try to wear blinders, or they're programmed to hear a certain term and just shut down and not listen to you after they hear that term or something.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, it all matters. We talk about it a lot with the RSO and the full extract cannabis oils, but it matters with the food you eat and the water you drink and all that kind of stuff to prevent you from getting sick in the first place, right? Because we sell cannabis oils, we sell nutritional products and stuff like that, but and we'll always do that, but we don't want to like sell people things where they have to do a gram a day and all this kind of stuff. We'd rather have people like maintain health and stuff like that, and so that's why we are good at getting people healthy and then helping them to stay healthy afterwards, so they don't have reoccurrences of stuff. that's a big fucking deal, you know. And the thing is, like, you know, you can't really get this. You can't get that at a doctor. It's hard to get it at a naturopath, and those motherfuckers cost a lot of money. And you know, the only thing you pay for over here is the supplements and stuff. Like all these consultations and the recurring consultations that happen beyond the sale to adjust protocols and you know, answer concerns and all that kind of stuff. That stuff could, if you go to a naturopath, you're spending like $400 or $500 a session, you know, for that shit, you know, and that's just part of the package with us right now. You know, it's just, it's fucking crazy. When you think about the amount of benefit that you get, it's really, really awesome, you know, because we understand how the cannabis works inside of you. You know, we could answer these questions live, you know, and give you valid answers that that make sense. And that's because we've been working with it for so long, and we actually have common sense and can understand things. Other people don't understand health and healing, you know, how the body works. You know, it's fucking crazy. They just repeat shit from the internet, you know, without being able to back up anything, and it's harmful. You know, people spread a lot of fucking misinformation, and that's why we're doing these live streams for you guys for free. You know, you know, that's why we have the groups for free. You know, like all this kind of stuff. I had a woman today. She got so pissed off at me. I got pissed off at her. If you go into the Facebook group, you'll see I put like live stream tonight, blah blah blah, and you'll see like a really like a mad face, you know, on there, like a bunch of like happy faces and hearts, and then there's one mad face, and that's the woman that got pissed off today, because she literally was saying she's scheduled a consultation. She said, hey, you know, I have this going on. How much does your stuff cost? And can I take it on a plane to Europe? Because I'm flying to Europe next month. And so I said, what's going on with you? You know, she didn't tell me what's going on with her. So, you know, first, you know, let me know what's going on with you. Let me blah, blah, blah. So I asked her a bunch of preliminary questions, you know, so I could answer her, you know, how to help her in the first place. And then after all that, I told her this is how much it cost, and this is how you could take it on a plane, you know, and not get in trouble. And then she told me, I just wanted I wanted to get information from you. You're not giving me information. You're just trying to sell me stuff and blah blah blah. And I said she was being all rude to me, and I was like, and it was like, that's the exact opposite of what we do. You know, like we exist because to get away from the scammers. So I just got pissed off at her and told her she was being rude, and that, you know, I don't care if she buys anything from me. And that there's like 400 plus videos on our YouTube channel, 2 free groups, which is part of both of them, you know, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she got and I said when she told me that she didn't think it was rude, I told her that I couldn't help her anymore, and I hung up on her, you know. And
we're just supposed to not like we're gonna be tested by people. That's everybody is gonna be tested right now. You guys, if you're seeing this, you're one of the people that's gonna be tested, and we're gonna pass the test this time. We might not have in the past, and that's why we're being tested again, because I believe fully that you are constantly given the same situations over and over and over again. Sometimes different people, but like the general lesson that you get from it is the same until you pass the test. And once you pass, you won't run into people like that anymore. That's literally part of this new earth that we're entering into. And so we're gonna be tested like fucking crazy, just because the universe wants to make sure that we really learned the lesson. And there's gonna be people that piss us off.
Yeah, so sort of lost her for a second, but yeah, so there's gonna be people that piss you off and stuff like that, and you could, you know, like pass the test and go through all that kind of stuff. But also, like with me, like you know, because she's you know, she's a light worker, Kristen is, you know, and I'm what you call like a light warrior. You know, I protect light workers, and so when people like that come into a community, like I stop it, like because like they're a cancer to the community, and that could spread, as well. That mindset of hate and of distrust. And I stop that and I get rid of those people. Like she's not in that group anymore. And I if you get oil from us, cool. If you don't, then cool.
No one's hearing you.
Huh?
There's a buzzing going on. That like you can't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Somebody said there's a buzzing going on right now, and you can't hear me. So let me see. I think we're gonna need to end this thing because they said there's a buzzing going on and people can't hear us.
That was crazy, whatever that was that just happened. Can you guys, is it better now, Megan? That was crazy. There was like this loud, like, I don't know what the heck that was. You have clear audio? Thank you, Dana. See, it's like when this kind of stuff happens when I start talking about that stuff. And honestly, it's just like more confirmation that what I'm talking about, this is real. Anyways, people are gonna piss us off, and we're not gonna let them. That's what's happening right now. We're letting it go, and we're focusing on the good stuff. Like, look at all the people that have come to us this last week alone, and that have had clean scans. How cool is that? Like, that's like all the people. Look at all the people. You guys, all the people that are out of pain now. And like, how fucking cool is this? I'm focusing on that shit. And like all the cool people that I've met that are in here, like Dana and Megan, of course. Like, Megan, thank you, by the way, you're such a baddie. I'm so grateful that we get to work with you. Like, it's the coolest thing, honestly. We're gonna, we need to all get together in person. ASAP. That's a thing.
Yeah. So yeah, right on. So, but yeah, I think that's a good place to end this. The powers that be are trying to fuck with us a little bit, And but when that buzzing was going on, what I was saying is that like, like we could focus on the good shit, but I'm a fucking light warrior, and anybody that tries to get in and take down anything that we're doing, I'll fucking get rid of. That's just it. We keep our community clean and pure. So you guys can get valuable information and not have any kind of fucking weird shit go on that that goes on the regular internet. So it's just a place for happiness and love and healing, basically.
And good times. And good times. Yeah. We're having fun.
And
wait.
I don't mind. I don't mind battling with people here and there because I'm a true warrior, and I'm happy through it. I'm happy to get rid of the people, and I'm happy to protect others. You know. So, anyways, thank you guys for coming on. Make sure to join our Facebook group if you haven't. You know, it's free to join. RSO Education and Truth on Facebook. Cannabis Oil Secrets on school.com /FECO, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We need to grow that thing. We're at about 2.8 thousand, but we need to get it like to 10,000 or something, you know, inside there. So, you know, so subscribe to our YouTube channel, all that good stuff. And we'll be doing this next Wednesday. Okay, we're going to be basically doing live streams every Wednesday to get your guys' questions answered, and just to, you know, build a stronger community with you guys, and spread the good word in health and healing.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's what's happening. Al, look, before we go, look what I made today. Can you see it? It's these are so these are going in the gardens in the specific plants. I'm going to do some experiments on I have 2 of the same of several strains here at my house that I'm going to play around with, and like one will get these things, one will get, I made a bunch of these, and these are going to have quartz pieces in them. This is Electro-culture. It's copper and crystals, and also galvanized steel nails. And I've been using this for pest control. So you take a piece of copper and you wrap it around this galvanized nail and stick it that line of copper in the ground, and the slugs completely stay away from all of my peas. It's crazy. We just started doing, I've tried literally everything where the slugs are horrible here, and they eat all my plants. And so we put this in the ground like 3 or 4 days ago, and haven't had a single snail or slug in the area where we put it. And it's like it's been an amazing tool. And I've been studying on some stuff. If you have mold in your house, you can use a galvanized nail and a strip of copper along your baseboards. And especially, Joe, you said one continuous, the copper in the house, you said it was supposed to be continuous line.
You can break it up. You just need different grounding rods, but I was going to try a single line. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we're doing some experiments. Humboldt is famous for mold in the houses, and we're going to do some preventative stuff. And so I'm going to document it for you guys too. But I just wanted to show you guys, I'm also making, so eventually here soon, every order will come with some triskelions, which are like the necklaces that I always wear. These are a healing tool made from copper, made with intention, and there's a whole magic and science behind it. And so I've been making more, and these are going to be coming with all of our oil, and all the plants are going to be grown with these special copper tools. So I just wanted to show you guys, because this is how I grounded today. This is how I calmed my mind and exited.
Are you going to grow some without one or two without it, so you can see the difference?
Yeah, so I have 2 of the same I think I have 8 different strains where I have like 2 identical plants almost. So they're going to be grown. I'm going to do some experiments, and I'm going to try to document it and show the difference is crazy though. Or I already know that. I just never like documented it. So I'm going to try to do that for you guys. So
yeah, because
anyways.
I have some friends that do that. It'd be cool to do to ship you guys some Shilajit and MSM to put it in the soil.
Oh my gosh, let's do some experiments. Yeah, let's definitely. Oh my gosh.
Because I grew some. I think it was last year. I did a crop, and I put everything that I take. I put Shilajit, MSM, and I put some spirulina in the soil too.
Honestly, that's actually such a good idea.
But the fucking shit was fire. It was like crazy, and it was a newer machine for the guy, but he said it was tested at 27%. It was like running soil, you know, and it was the highest that he had tested on his machine at that time, and the terpenes on both different strains were like through the roof. They were the highest terpenes that he's ever tested ever.
What? Oh my God.
And
Okay.
so it might be a thing to put the Shilajit and MSM, and maybe even the spirulina because it's so new. Because it's just adding more nutrition back in and pulling it back up, right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, we used to add like kelp and algae and dolomite and like all the kinds of different
Yeah,
minerals and nutrients for our plants, right? And we've gotten away from that more recently because those things are so crazy expensive. They add up so quick. And
yeah.
especially like with a lot of plants, it's insane how much money we used to spend just buying those types of nutrients. And now I just here I'll show you guys. I just made a batch of jadam. So I'm learning more and more and practicing more and more jadam, which is a kind of like KNF. It's just a regenerative way to grow. And I
That's what
made
Happy does, right?
yeah, that's so the farm he used to live on, that's where we learned how to do a lot of this stuff. Hang on, how do I flip my camera? Hang on, sorry. Did that work? Okay, so I got my fireplace right here, and I've got this is called JMS, Jadam Microbial Solution, and I just started it like a couple hours ago, so it's not doing much yet. And then I couldn't find a lid. Okay, this one's easier to see. So there's all that's in here is mashed potatoes. I boiled some potatoes and then I smushed them up with my fingers and I put them in a like a nylon bag, and then sea salt, and in this bag at the bottom is leaf mold. So underneath like the bottom of a maple tree, you like kind of push the dead leaves away and you'll see a like a white, it's called mycelium. It's like a little white webbing look in the soil, and you grab a handful of that and you put it um in your little bag with the potatoes, and then you get it hot, well not hot, but you get it warm and you try to keep it around 75-80 degrees for 2 days. And then what you have is like there's microbes in there, and the potatoes and the salt feed the microbes. And then you once you're done, so I have two 5-gallon buckets here, and this will be enough to do, I don't know, a 30-40 square foot garden. And all it cost me was a bag of potatoes, and I'm growing my own. So it's basically going to be free, and a tablespoon of some good salt. And what it does is it feeds the soil, and the plants just go insane. I'll show you guys like before and afters. It'll be ready in like the day after tomorrow. So I'll show you the plants before and after. I'll try to document all this stuff and show you guys. And it's so easy and it's free. So or really close to free. And if you grow your own potatoes, it pretty much is. So you just got to keep it warm. That's the hardest part. But when you feed it to your plants, you're feeding it to the soil that's in them, and you're helping build up the microbes. And then those microbes, you're making healthy ones, and they're better able to take up nutrients. And it's all stuff you can do from your land. You don't really need to buy anything to do it. And
If you
yeah,
buy that
it's
shit, it's expensive, right?
you guys, the most money we spent in our years of farming, other than the permitting costs, was at the grocery store on things like when we first moved out here, dude. They like loved us because you could go to the like soil or grow store and say, we have I don't know, 10,000 square feet, and here's a sample of our soil, and tell us what the soil's missing. And then they'll be like, oh, it's missing this and this, and you could buy this, you can buy all those here. And then they would sell us all those things. And like our first year, I don't even want to tell you how much we spent at the grocery store. It was insane. We bought every single thing that they suggested. And our plants looked awesome, don't get me wrong, but like I also spent years not buying a single thing from them and growing even better plants. So if your soil's super deficient, you need a lot of that stuff. But that's like a bag of I don't even know, gypsum, for example, is probably, I don't even know what it is now. I haven't bought that stuff in a while, but like each bag adds up to be so much. And then times, many plants, it's crazy. But it's cool though that you can make your own now. You can make everything you need just off of, you can use like you can compost your plants and use that as food. There's so many ways If you guys have a garden, look up JADAM, JADAM. I highly recommend doing it. And it's so cool because the day after you apply this stuff, those 2 buckets I'll dilute by like 20, I think 20 to 1. So that's like a ton of plant food right there in those 2 5-gallon buckets. And the day after you feed them, it's just so cool. They just pop up, and it's like great that it's free. And anyways, I'm going off on plants, but yeah, those nutrients are expensive.
Yeah. So what she's talking about, the reason this is important, right, is because if in order to grow the right way without the pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides and all kind of stuff, if you do it, going to the grocery store and not doing what she's doing right now, you'll spend way too much and you won't be able to survive as a company. And that's one of the reasons why. It's one of the reasons why they do use the pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, because it's economies of scale, and so being having the smarts to be able to do that, and then the will to do it too, because you can't be lazy and to make this stuff, it takes effort and work. It takes effort and work to make RSO. That's fucking hard, to do it right. And but doing these things can bring the costs down and make it affordable enough to be able to make it and sell it and be able to live, because that's what, like, if you go up to Humboldt, like it's been decimated a lot, because of the what's going on in the industry and people not being able to make money. It's really interesting. So what she's showing you is like, that's to me, that's more valuable than gold, like because that's life right there. That's health. I mean, what that is going into the nutrition of the plant, and that plant nutrition is what the RSO is, right? That's why it's so fucking important, and then having all these good intentions, like how fucking badass is that? Like all that copper wiring, all that different stuff, to it's naturally bring in good energy, naturally repel, like pests, insects and all that kind of stuff, without having to spray, without having to do different things, using compatible, different plants, like Maui onion or whatever to repel certain pests or whatever, all this kind of stuff. It's it's all doable, but it's harder work, and but that's what but that's why we exist, because most places are too lazy to do this kind of shit, and we won't take stuff that ourselves that isn't this, like it has to be as pure can be, or else we won't take it. So and then like
We sure aren't going to recommend it.
It's
to
almost
you
as hard to
guys.
make a little tiny amount as it is to make a bigger amount. So you may as well make a bigger amount and give it out to the world, kind of a thing. And plus, I've been in health my whole life, 40 fucking years. So that's all I know how to do. Unemployable otherwise, right? So
Idaho
anyways,
listening. Wait, I missed
thank
your.
you guys for listening again, and make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Again, join the groups, and if you have questions between then, just ask them in the group.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going live on TikTok in a little bit. If you guys come over there, I told them I'd come back on tonight, so it's a live day. But
Namaste out of the way, right?
yeah, namaste out of my way.
Namaste out of my way. On
Stay
TikTok.
out of my way.
Yeah. Right on. Awesome.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, you guys. Have a really good night.